Well, would you look who made his way back into the building? Leigh Baldwin is here.
Good morning, guys.
We got him in early because we're your only visit today.
There's nobody here.
There's nobody here.
This is nice.
Just us, of course, dollarinvestmentclub.com. You sign up, you pay a bill to yourself. Maybe you're getting a little bit of a refund. Kickstart that Dollar Investment Club
I love
right
that
there,
idea,
man.
Josh. I love
That's what
that.
I tell people to do. A, go through and see what subscriptions you're not using because you're not using all of them.
Nope.
And then if you got a little scratch, you kickstart it. You just go over there, dollarinvestmentclub.com. You sign up, pay a bill to yourself, $100, $150 a month, whatever you can afford, you do that. So, Leigh, it's been a while since we've been together.
I know.
I would imagine that this thing over in Russia is having an impact on
I guess there's
everything.
Everything, yeah. So we were just talking about sometimes things are right staring you in the face. So if we'd all bought some oil maybe 2 weeks ago, that would have been pretty good for investments. But it's kind of
Jokes
scary.
on you nerds. I put it in a bunch of freezer bags and put it down in my freezer. I bought it low.
Me too.
I always load up low.
All those old Wegmans bags I
Yeah, I
had are
just
all filled up.
filled
I
up
tied
my-
it with a little twist tie.
Exactly right, Leigh.
Sitting in the basement.
You suckers
Remember
are the
that
one
show
paying.
we did where oil went negative?
Yeah.
Wish we'd bought it then, right?
Yeah.
They were paying you to buy it.
So from what I understand, when it comes to our oil, at least, we only get about 8% from Russia. Like 5 to 8% is not a lot.
It's less than that, I think.
Yeah.
So it was very symbolic yesterday for us to say, okay, we're not going to buy our 3% or 5% of oil. But it is a connected world economy, though. So unfortunately, the European Union is very connected to Russian oil, and so that's what's got everybody all. So I think it's 30% of what they get is from Russia. So, but the good news today, and that's why the market's rebounding a little bit, is that the European countries said, okay, we've got enough to get through the winter.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
Yeah,
so it's a lot of give and take on that, but it's,
There's a lot out there, and I'm not about to get on some kind of soapbox here, but let's not pretend like the oil companies aren't, making a little bit of a profit off this. All right,
God,
they
yeah.
definitely are.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I've been telling people, too, if you go to your local gas station, like in these next few days, and they've raised prices 50 cents, you are being price gouged. That is not a Russian influence. That will take at least a couple of weeks to really be seen, if at all.
Right. It does take a period of time, right? I think one thing, it's this was kind of happening before Russia invaded Ukraine, so it's so we were seeing prices go higher. There is a limit that all of us can take, and I thought the last spike we had at $4 a gallon of gas, that was like when things kind of stopped. So I think we're blowing right through that now. I think it's record high, but so really, as a Wall Street guy, we're trying to see, is this going to be a temporary thing, or are we going to be able to, is this something that we're going to have to deal with longer term? And that's the, so.
The ways to get around this is obviously we look at our own renewable energy. We look at ways to become energy independent. We have, I believe it's somewhere between 7,000 and 9,000 pumping leases that are not being used in this country right now.
Sure, yeah.
So there's ways for the oil companies to bring that down, but they also like making money. So there's a lot of behind the scenes kind of inner workings that I'm too dumb to understand. I just know that.
Right. And for the politicians to say, yeah, just go out and buy a Tesla. Well, that's not really practical for all of us just to go buy that Tesla, right? So it's this is very we're really looking at this to see what we have. It can affect stock prices. So there's you've got higher inflation. Wheat prices went through the roof. Nickel, they stopped trading. So there's certain things that are coming out of this that are like a little shocking, right?
Yeah.
So
if anything, these last 2.5 years have shown us is that we've got to do more here in this country
for sure,
than depending on other people. I mean, we can't get any chips for anything still. You go by any car dealership, they got like 5 cars on the lot. Trying to get a PS5, that ain't gonna happen, Lee. It's just not gonna happen, man.
Nobody ever.
But what kind of impact are we seeing, if any, with all these companies cutting ties with Russia? McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Apple.
Pepsi this morning.
This morning, they've all said, all right, we're closing all of our stores for the interim.
And so they're all doing their part. I mean, McDonald's is an example where they get 9% of their worldwide revenue comes from Russia. So for them to pull back and still pay everyone, that was a big deal. But they're doing the right thing, I think. If you're going to put the squeeze on, we don't want to be sending bomber jets there, but we can do it financially. It's
trying to do it this way, yeah.
Right. And so, and I don't know if you guys have talked about the Airbnb.
Have you followed that, Cody?
No.
So basically, like in Ukraine, you can rent out Airbnbs.
Right. Go out and rent out a room in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. And people are doing that. Like they say you owned a house in Ukraine and you wanted to rent it out. You can rent it like an Airbnb. But obviously people aren't traveling to Ukraine right now. But they're renting the rooms to send the Ukrainian people money.
Oh.
So it's kind of using Airbnb as a bank a little bit.
And
It's like, what
Airbnb
the
is
hell's
taking no
going-
fees.
Yeah.
And full disclosure,
Oh,
that's
all
the stock
right.
that we own in the
Sure.
club. But I'm kind of glad to own it because when there's chaos, you want to know what you own. And there's a company that's probably got their head in the right place, right? Like that's a way that they can get money to people that really need it. So very interesting. So the companies are shutting down. Russia was kind of a fading. I think they're the 11th largest economy, so they've faded over time, and this is not going to help at all.
Well, for Russia to rebuild from this is going to take forever.
Forever.
I mean, all of these sanctions that have been implemented and the things like we just talked about, McDonald's and Coca-Cola and Pepsi and all that,
Right.
that only punishes the Russian people.
Right.
It doesn't punish the oligarchy. It doesn't punish Putin.
No.
They're fine.
Yes.
It's just the people trying to live their lives over there that really get hit the
You
worst.
just hope that they're getting the right information, too. We were talking about Facebook, but their Facebook was shut down. And just so their communication, I think 58% of Russians approve of what Vlad is doing. So
yeah, because they're being given propaganda. They're being told
believe,
terrible things.
Yeah, because it's, all eyes over there for now, but we'll get through this.
I mean, if we are living in the absolute age of misinformation, and you're seeing it in a tragic level right now.
Right.
With the Russian people being shown all this propaganda about what's going on in Ukraine, and it's terrible. And then, they're trying to get the word out there. Like I saw Netflix isn't going to work. Like they were supposed to run some kind of propaganda. That's getting shut down.
Right.
People are trying to do the right thing, but it's so crazy.
And there's over 40 million Ukrainians, right?
wow.
Or 40, it's more than there are Canadians, I believe.
It's one of the biggest countries in that area, I think.
And to their credit, they're very patriotic for their country.
Absolutely,
and it's something I don't think the Russians expected. I thought they felt they'd be in there now and put their puppet government in, and it's not playing out that way.
And that's not happening.
No.
And if something does happen where they do get to set that up, it's going to be another 20, 30 years of all rebuilding. Like it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, lots of stuff going on, Lee.
Great to see you guys.
Great to see
I know.
you.
Right? Been a minute.
Welcome back from your palatial yacht cruise with Jay-Z and Beyonce. I know that you had a very
fancy.
nice trip over
I
there.
like that.
I'll tell you all about it off air, guys.
To fill up his yacht right now, he can barely afford it.
Tell me
Cody,
about
with these
it.
gas
Tell me about
prices.
it.
All right, Lee, dollarinvestmentclub.com. You sign up, you pay a bill to yourself, you make money over the long run, you play the long game, and you're good to go. Leigh Baldwin.
Thanks, guys.
Man of the people right there.